Hello there and Happy New Year. This is New Year's Day here in the UK. We are in between the rain showers that we've been having, so I thought I'd quickly pop out and sow some seeds, which I wouldn't normally do this early in the season, but there is a reason why, and I'll tell you later. And I thought I'd show you a few treats that I bought for myself this year to hopefully help with my gardening. So if all that interests you, it's going to be a really quick video, so let's get on. So the seeds I am going to sow are some sweet peas that I saved the seeds from very late in the season last year. They were lovely, really bright pink sweet peas. As usual, lost the labels. I don't know what variety they are, but they were really lovely. So I saved what seeds there were. And before I lose them in my desk, I thought I will just sow them so that it gets that done. I also have Orlaya and Larkspur to sow. Now these seeds were intended to be sown in autumn last year. I put them in the freezer to stratify for a couple of weeks and completely forgot about them. So just to set the year off right, I thought I'll give them a chance and see whether they're alive. Do I have many high hopes? No, not really. I don't know whether being in the freezer for 3 months will have affected them, but we shall see. I don't have much luck with either of these seeds, to be honest. I don't know whether it's the cold stratifying and I just won't get it right, or I've had one seed germinated last year and then the slugs got it. And Larkspur, I did have a lot germinate last year actually, and if they had all come to flower, it would have been lovely. However, yet again, the slugs got them. So what I would like, and I'm hoping from this little packet of seeds that I get lots germinated, I can get plants that are quite big and strong before the slugs arrive. So hopefully they have a bit of their own defences and are not eaten straight away. Obviously I'll need to do a bit of protection myself, but that's my hope, is that they are strong enough before the slugs come out so that I at least get some flowers. So that's what I'm going to be sowing. Both of those seeds, I believe, don't like their roots disturbed. Certainly I know Larkspur don't. So I am going to, yet again, try these seed trays because it allows me to move them into bigger and bigger pots without disturbing the roots. They will be air pruned at the bottom, and then I can move them on without too much difficulty. So that's why I'm trying those rather than my usual method. I don't know 100% whether Orlaya have a problem with root disturbance, but I'm going to sow them anyway in that, so that I've just got one full tray's worth kind of that I can put a cover on and protect them independently or together rather than having two things on the go. And that's about it. I have prepared some compost with a bit of vermiculite in it just for water retention, and I forgot, I am going to water that compost before putting it into these seed trays, because I found last year I had better results from that. I think because these cells are so small, they dry out really quickly, and so having that bit of water to start with just means that they are in a good place before I forget to water them, which is usual. So let me get that watered and I will be good to start sowing. Give it a squeeze. There is water coming out and it holds itself. So this is messy. So I have 2 seed trays here and I am just going to fill them up. Okay, so we have our trays filled. I have some labels. Let's just put them in there now so I don't forget. So let's start with the Orlaya. Now this is a tray of 30 cells. So I don't need that many plants, but I haven't even got, I should have checked this before I did it. Look at that. 6. Maybe I just do one row. Just put them in. Put them in, press them in, and then I will get them covered in a minute. I haven't brought any dried soil up with me. So I believe I've got a few more larkspurs, yes. So let me just try and put one per cell. Okay, then let's just sprinkle over a fine layer of compost to cover up the seeds. I have kind of overfilled these. I haven't taken the greatest of care. But if they're going to grow, they're going to grow, aren't they? And if they're not, then I've not lost anything. So, there we go. Stage 1 complete. I'm just unpodding the sweet peas to see if I have any seeds. And surprisingly, there are quite a few. All of those seeds from 1, 2, 5 seed pods. I think I'm going to sow 5 per pot. I don't want more than 4 pots on the go, so I'm just going to sow what I have and hope for the best. So here we go. One, 2, 3, 4. There's never a non-good day for sowing sweet peas. You know what, some of them are looking a little bit mouldy, so they may not be viable. So rather than keep them, I am just gonna go for it and thin them out if required, because it's highly likely that a lot of these seeds aren't viable. So that's all those seeds. There are lots in there. So let me just cover those up. You normally cover seeds to about the depth of the seed, if that makes sense. So you cover it, however big the seed is, that's the amount that you usually cover the seed with compost or vermiculite or whatever it is. So I am going to put those in a tray with the other seeds, label them. So we have a tray of the newly sown seeds, and I am just going to cover them with a cover that fits. There we go. So that's really to keep the humidity in, so that, and any bit of warmth that there might be. With that out of the way, I can show you my purchases that I treated myself with this Christmas. Firstly, you have seen the gloves. Now everything is from Milwaukee. And I went a little bit overboard because I wanted to buy my sister-in-law the left-handed weeding hoe that I loved this year. And in order to do that and get free shipping, I thought I'd treat myself to some things. So some things are a bit random, but they were cheap. So these are gloves. They seem pretty much like any other glove, to be honest. First time I put them on now, they kept my hands relatively warm, considering they're quite chilly now. But we shall see how they go. A good pair of gardening gloves is always handy. I also treated myself to a knife, a gardening knife. It looks pretty sharp. No doubt I'll cut myself. I am not to be trusted with sharp blades, but I thought a good knife would be handy. And it's really slim and easy to handle. No sticking your nails in to try and get the blade out. It's just kind of got a flap that you press and it pops out. So, in theory, should be easy to use. Rather randomly, I bought myself a scythe. Thought we'd go old school. And the reason I got this, I mean, it looks pretty lethal. The reason I got this is because sometimes, I am intending to leave as many roots in the ground as possible to help with soil improvement. And so sometimes using secateurs or loppers or garden shears to cut the stems down really disturbs the roots as well while you're doing it. So I thought this might be easier, and it might be able to get down to the base of the plant much easier than using secateurs, and it wasn't that expensive. So we shall see whether that works. So another Milwaukee purchase of a scythe. And then finally, I cannot wait to use these left-handed secateurs. I have loved my Sophie Conran secateurs that I've had for years. They've been abandoned in the garden numerous times. They haven't rusted. I haven't sharpened them actually, and they cut through everything. So I've got nothing to complain about my Sophie Conran ones. But funnily enough, watching myself on these videos trying to cut things, and I just look so awkward. So I seem to have to hold it upside down to cut it. And I've never really thought about it before. But I thought, you know what? I didn't even know you could get left-handed secateurs, but you can. So I thought I would give these a whirl. So they're all from Milwaukee. I'm not sponsored in any way. I just like the tools that I've had from them in the past. So I thought I would give them a go. And I'm sure you'll see more of them over the next growing season to see whether they work. Anyway, on that note, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, and I'm sure we're all going to have a wonderful new year with lots of new plants to grow in the coming season. My next video is going to be a bit about planning for the next season and what seeds I'm going to be sowing this year. If you've got any tools that you can't live without, then please drop a line in the comments below. And if you have a New Year's Day tradition, I'm hoping this will continue to be a tradition, my New Year's Day seed sowing, then let me know too. And now, that's all for now. I'll see you again soon. Happy gardening.